Phoebe, can I please see your homework?
Well, I haven't done it, miss.
And why is that? You know that your homework was supposed to be due in today, so why didn't you do it?
Because my grandmother got taken to the hospital last night. She had a heart attack and is now in a coma.
Look here, young lady, I am getting fed up with your excuses.
It's not an excuse. She is actually in a hospital on life support. She might not make it.
Look here, Phoebe, I couldn't care less whether she was lying in a morgue. That does not excuse you from not doing your homework. Now, seeing as you didn't do your homework, I will be giving you a month's detention.
But that is not fair.
Well, you should have thought about that before you decided not to do your homework. Was that your phone? You know the rules. No mobile phones in class.
I know, miss, but the head teacher gave me permission to have it on in lessons just in case I get any news about my grandmother, which I have. She's dead. My grandmother just died.
I couldn't care less, and I don't care that the head teacher gave you permission to have your phone switched on in lessons.
Well, at least he isn't a heartless bitch. Like you are.
Well, I have never ever been so insulted in all my life. How dare you speak to me like that? I think I shall have to give you detention for the entire year, and before you ask, no, you cannot be excused from missing school to go to your grandmother's funeral. You will serve detention instead. Now get out of my sight. I don't want you in my classroom. Also, come back here after school for your first detention of the year.
What's wrong, Phoebe?
Well, I told Miss Anderson about why I didn't do my homework, that my grandmother was in hospital and had just died, but she didn't even care. She gave me a year's detention and said I had to do detention instead of going to my grandmother's funeral.
Roar, 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 that heartless bitch. She had no right doing that. Well, don't you worry, Phoebe. I will have a word with Miss Anderson and you will not have a year's detention. This is just not fair on you.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson.
Roar, 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 roar. Miss Jackson, how dare you give Phoebe a year's detention for not doing her homework? That poor girl had a very reasonable excuse and she is very heartbroken. How could you be so callous and awful?
Mysterious Cousin, I have a very strict rule about homework being brought in on time, and Phoebe broke that rule. So therefore she will have after-school detention with me every single weeknight for the rest of the year.
For your information, I have excused Phoebe from her detentions with you. The poor girl has lost her grandmother, for fuck's sake. The last thing she needs right now is punishment.
You can't do this.
Yes, I can. I'm the head teacher after all, so therefore I make the rules, not you.
But she broke the rules. She failed to hand her homework in on time.
And with good reason. Now, collect your things. You are fired, you heartless bitch.